Right then, it's time for a bit more Europa League action. Tomorrow night, we're over in Spain facing Real Betis, and they drew 1-1 this weekend with Villarreal, which stretched their current unbeaten run in La Liga to 5 matches. The 4 goals that they conceded last week against United was the amount of goals that they've conceded in their entire Europa League campaign prior to that match. United come into it obviously on the back of a 0-0 draw with Southampton, making it 2 games without a win in the league. In Europa this season, United have won all but one of their games away from home, winning 3 and drawing 1. We can afford to sit back and relax on this a little bit because of the cushion that we've got being so successful in the first leg. So I think it's going to be a very interesting tactical matchup because Betis' attempt to play a possession-based style had a bit of a fatal flaw. They might score 3 goals and dominate the game, but they were just as likely to concede 4 on the break the way that they set up at Old Trafford. Really, really shoddy defending. Almost went hand in hand with how they were playing. And it's probably going to put a ceiling on what they can achieve. Now, I think Betis have got the talent in the team to score some goals against United, but I don't think they can shut United out. That's a United side that's not really scoring goals, and I'm rotating, by the way. Pellegrini, for the large part, sort of fixed what was a more sensible approach this season, but they really struggled to deal with the pace and the intensity of what's a top Premier League side in United. However, they no longer need to hold possession for the sake of it. They need to score goals. They established quite a solid and reliable back 4 with an aggressive and consistent double pivot. That's the platform in which they built one of Spain's best attacks on, but they simply showed up for half an hour in the last game and then just withered. Andy Mitten tweeted how Seville has got the highest average temperature of any club team location in Europe, and it almost looked as if last week the weather had a bit of an impact on it because it was freezing last week. And it just seemed like they waved the flag very quickly and they had nothing like their usual standard. It would be a mistake to go into this game and take them lightly like you've just smacked them about the way we did. We actually did have a bigger margin of XG goals and goals conceded than Liverpool had in the 7-0 beating of us last weekend. So, that just tells you how dominant that game was from a United point of view. Star player for them, Sergio Canales, didn't start the last game due to an injury. Arguably their most instrumental player. Very elegant, very technical footballer. Wonderful left foot, very clever. Glides with the ball and should have a bit of an impact if he starts this time out. For United, the 11 I'm going to go with has got a little bit of rotation in it. Quite a lot of rotation in it. David De Gea. I've gone with Dalot, Lindelof, Maguire and Malacia. Casemiro alongside McTominay in a pivot. Fred as a 10 because we're going to play on the back foot. You can have the 10 be less creative and more defensive. Pellistri on the right, Sancho on the left and Vegas down the middle. I wanted to rotate the striker. We have nobody to rotate the striker with. I would love to see Tony Marshall get half an hour in this game. If he's going to be fit enough to do that is anybody's guess. So I have no idea. But that's how I'm going to rock it. And match winner is Pellistri. Garnacho would have played in this if it wasn't for the injury that he picked up against Southampton, which wasn't a penalty, apparently. Very bright last week against these. Has looked very, very positive when he came on. Now's the time for him to sort of get a start in a game where it's not really all on the line for United. We should have enough in us to get through this no matter what happens. He's earned an opportunity, and I believe strongly when players earn an opportunity, you give them an opportunity. Very direct, absolute live wire, was going past the Betis defence like it was a cone, and really offers us something different. Antony and Sancho love the ball to feet, love to try and take people on, but I would say blistering pace isn't something that you say with both of those players. They like to dwell a little bit with it, whereas Pellistri and Garnacho are extreme direct. So I want to see a bit of that from them. How do we beat them? Probably don't, in all honesty. I see this being a draw or a narrow defeat, like a 2-1 or a 1-0 loss, something like that. Probably not a 1-0 loss. They're not good enough defensively to keep us out. 2-1, 1-1, 2-2, Something like that. That's how this is going to go. But how do you get through to the next round? How do you beat them? Don't be complacent. I would try and go for the win still. I would. You can't set a team up and go, just don't lose 3-0 and I'll see you at full time. You can't do that. You have to go with a mentality of you're going to win this game, even with the rotated. This is where the man management comes in. Lads, some of you lot are considered second choice. If you want a first team spot, this is how you go and earn one. I think you'd get more complacency out of picking the first 11, if you like. But you've got the likes of Casemiro who are going to be in there. Maguire's playing in it, but I'd even consider putting the armband on Casemiro for this one. But I would go into it like you're going to win it. Do not be complacent. I think there will be rotation, but I think it's rotation in the right areas ahead of that Fulham game. Finish the opportunities because we could have scored a lot more than we did last week, and I think this is a great chance for Pellistri to score, in all honesty, to get his name on a score sheet and have people demanding that he's involved against Fulham at the weekend. And then just verticality. They struggled with that last week because we were so direct. And I think Pellistri is the next one that you throw out there for him. Spanish sides do struggle with teams that go vertical. The transitional speed in England, it just doesn't happen in Spain, and I think you play on that a little bit. You might need to go a bit more direct than you would want to at times, but I think that would be effective in this instance, and being more vertical could really take their counter-pressing out of play. That's one of the best things about when a team's in you, all over you, in your third, so you're trying to play out, or you've just won the ball off them, but they've won it nice and high, or the turnover is nice and high. If you just dosh one into a channel, ain't nobody counter-pressing that. Nobody. You try and play out through there when there's 6 or 7 bodies all in that one sort of area, let's say just outside the D or just over to the left or right hand side of it. A lot of players in there. It's a horrible area to then lose the ball because you're basically just giving them a straight attack. But when you've got the pace of someone like Pellistri, just ping one, nice diag over to the right hand side. You stop the counter pressing. You've not lost it in your own area. You've turned their defence around. It's a legitimate option. Is it what I want to see from United every week? No. All we got to do is get through the tie here. That's all that matters. Get through the tie. Don't give a shit how it happens. Dosh it into the corner and let Pellistri chase after it like a puppy dog. If that's what we need to do. Happy? Happy. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.